Mr. James is 68 years old, living in a small house in the suburbs of Austin, Texas. His house is located on a quiet street, with rows of green trees on both sides, rustling like the natural music of life when a gentle wind blows. But perhaps not everyone knows that just a few years ago, Mr. James' heart was so weak and tired that he felt every day was heavy. Back then, Mr. James was a busy man, having worked as a construction engineer for nearly 40 years. Stressful work, hasty meals, and the habit of staying up late gradually made his health decline. When he retired, he thought he would be able to rest and live a healthy life, but the reality was not as he dreamed. One morning, while watering flowers in the garden, he felt dizzy and had chest pain. After being taken to the emergency room, the doctor concluded that he had high blood pressure and a high risk of cardiovascular disease. That day, the doctor sat by his bedside and gently told him, "James, you don't need to change the whole world, but start with small habits to make your heart healthier. Age cannot be stopped, but health can be maintained if you really want to." Those words made Mr. James think for a long time. Returning home, he stood in front of the mirror, looking at himself. His hair was already gray, his face was full of wrinkles, and his eyes were tired. But deep in those eyes was still a resilient man who had built bridges, solid buildings. And now it was time to rebuild his own health. The next day, Mr. James started from the smallest thing, the morning. Before, he used to wake up, make a cup of strong coffee, and sit down to read the news full of stress. But now, he changed. Instead of coffee, he started each day with a cup of warm water with a few slices of fresh lemon. This simple habit may sound trivial, but it helps his body to be purified, promotes blood circulation, and gently awakens the digestive system. Every time he drinks a cup of warm lemon water, he feels like he is taking care of his heart from the inside. Each sip of water entering his body is like a gentle message. Slow down and love yourself. After that, Mr. James goes out into the yard. Before, he usually just watered the plants or sat reading the newspaper, but now he decided to walk every day. At first, it was just small laps around the garden, then around the neighborhood. He was not in a hurry, nor did he try to walk fast. He walked slowly, each step feeling the ground under the soles of his feet, breathing in the fresh air, and listening to the birds chirping in the treetops. Just like that, he maintained the habit of walking for 20 minutes after dinner. There were evenings when the wind was gentle and the sky was sparkling with stars. James walked and smiled as he thought, "Just 20 minutes a day. I'm doing something wonderful for my heart." He felt his body become more flexible, and his sleep was deeper and more restful. That was the second lesson he learned. Simple things like walking regularly can bring great benefits to his health. But the change is not just about exercise. The mind also needs to be taken care of. James was a worrier. Long sleepless nights worrying about the past or the future made him mentally stressed. And he realized his heart was not only tired physically, but also because of the burdens in his soul. One morning, while sitting in the garden, James decided to try something new, listening to music and practicing deep breathing. He chose some soft jazz, put his phone on the table, closed his eyes, and just listened to the warm saxophone sound in the quiet space. As the music plays, he inhales deeply, holds his breath for a few seconds, and exhales slowly. Doing this for 5 minutes every day helps him relax his body, forget about petty worries, and let his heart rest. Gradually, he finds himself less stressed and more at ease when facing things that don't go his way. This is the third habit that James maintains, taking time every day to breathe deeply and let his mind be at peace. Of course, the journey of change is not always smooth. Sometimes, James makes mistakes, like accidentally eating too much salt or staying up late to watch an interesting movie. But he doesn't blame himself. He just reminds himself, tomorrow is a new opportunity to do better. During the process of change, he also learned to give up 2 bad habits that had harmed his heart. The first was the habit of eating a lot of processed foods, fast food, lots of salt and preservatives. In the past, for convenience, he often bought canned foods, but now he spends time cooking simple meals from fresh foods, boiled vegetables, grilled fish, a little avocado, and walnuts. These meals are simple, but bring a feeling of lightness and are good for the heart. The second bad habit he gave up was letting his mind be stressed for too long. Whenever he encountered something sad or frustrating, instead of holding it in his heart, he wrote it down on a piece of paper, then folded it and put it aside. That was how he freed his mind, so that worries no longer took up space in his heart. After a year of perseverance, Mr. James felt the difference clearly. His blood pressure is more stable, his heart rate is regular, and his spirit is also more positive. Every morning, looking at himself in the mirror, he no longer sees a tired old man. He sees a companion of his own, a healthy heart living each day with him. When his neighbors asked for the secret, he just smiled and said, "Nothing big. Just drink warm water every morning instead of coffee. Walk for 20 minutes every evening and take a few minutes every day to breathe deeply. In addition, eat healthy and don't let sadness stay in your heart for too long." Each small habit like that will help your heart be grateful and will take care of you. Mr. James's story is proof that our hearts can be healthy and strong, even as we age. Health does not come from big or complicated things, but from patience, love for ourselves, and the smallest but lasting changes every day. If you are listening to this story, ask yourself, what small thing can I do today to take care of my heart? It could be replacing your morning coffee with a cup of warm water with lemon, taking a walk around the yard after a meal, or simply taking a few quiet minutes to listen to your breath. Remember, no matter how old you are, your heart is always listening to how you treat it, and it will return to you health, peace, and joy if you take care of it with kindness every day. Thank you for listening to Mr. James's story. If you love inspirational stories and healthy living tips, please subscribe to the Aging Gracefully channel. See you in the next video, where we will share more small but meaningful things to live happily and healthily every day.